Welcome to this course on ChatGPT Code Interpreter. Code Interpreter is an amazing new capability that has been built into ChatGPT if you have the ChatGPT Plus subscription. Now, I want to show you why this capability is so exciting, and I'm going to walk you through some examples. I'm going to start off with the most interesting document on the planet. It's actually not at all. It's the Vanderbilt Travel Business Expense Policy. And I deal with this document all the time. So how could we make it more interesting with Code Interpreter? Well, let's start off with one of the basic things that Code Interpreter allows us to do, which is to upload a document and have Code Interpreter read it. Now, just stop for a second and wrap your mind around that. We are having this AI tool read this complex document that we just looked at. This is a document meant for humans, so we're going to upload it and have Code Interpreter read it so that it can answer questions about it, right? So rather than me emailing the person who is always trying to help me with travel expense questions, I can just go into Code Interpreter and start asking questions about this document and what it says. So what does it do? It goes and reads the document and it provides us some basic information, some summary of it, which is fascinating. But let's get more interesting. Let's see how much we can push Code Interpreter. So I'm just going to say, let's assume I am in a foreign country traveling in a taxi and it breaks down on the way to an important meeting. Can I get reimbursed if I pay someone to drive me on the back of their motorcycle to the meeting, assuming they are a private citizen? And this tends to look more like the questions I actually ask the travel expense people. Now, it's not usually this crazy, but it's always like, I was going here, this got canceled, this happened, now what do I do? Right? Can it handle this level and scale and scope of question? And the answer is it can. It says, based on the information provided in the document, the key points relevant to your question are as follows. And notice what it's doing. It's telling us what in the document is relevant to our question and trying to help us answer it. University requires travelers to select the most reasonable and economical form of transportation. Riding on a motorcycle, is it reasonable and economical? We'll find out. Non-conventional transportation options are not explicitly mentioned in the policy, so it doesn't say that you can ride on the back of the motorcycle. Just know that non-conventional, and notice it figured out this is non-conventional. And then Vanderbilt does not have a separate policy on ride sharing. So you're doing ride sharing here, although we don't normally think of riding on the back of a motorcycle in a strange situation as ride sharing. It really is, and it's telling us that. And then it goes on and it says, given these points, it seems plausible that in an emergency situation where no other reasonable and economical form of transportation is available, the cost of transportation by a private citizen's motorcycle might be considered an allowable expense. That's good enough for me. But then it also nicely hedges its bets, and I'm guessing it's from the document. It says, however, the university's policy does not explicitly state this, and reimbursement may be subject to review. Well, that's a pretty good answer. Now let's do something more interesting, like I'm always submitting receipts and they get rejected, right? Why is this receipt being rejected? Why is this travel expense being rejected? If I could only figure this out before I actually submitted it, so I don't waste all this time going back and forth. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to tell it to apply that travel and expense reimbursement policy that it just read to this rental car receipt that I'm uploading. So take that prior document and now apply it to this document that I'm about to give you. And here's what it says. It goes through the receipt and it says, hey, this is a rental car receipt and it's going to determine if it complies to the travel and business expense policy that we previously reviewed. And it finds something really interesting. The collision and damage waiver, and that's basically insurance that I'm buying on the car and I'm paying for it. It says for domestic travel, the CDW should be declined as rental vehicles are fully insured through Vanderbilt's insurance portfolio. So it's telling me, hey, you just uploaded a receipt. It includes this charge for this specific type of insurance. Vanderbilt's policy does not allow you to get reimbursed for that because you weren't supposed to get it in the first place because Vanderbilt's insurance already has it. That's pretty amazing. We just took one document, and if you'll remember, this wasn't a trivial document. This was a complex document. And it applied it to a receipt after asking questions about riding in the back of a motorcycle. Well, what else can we do with it? Here's a PDF of Vanderbilt's enrollment report. This is something that gets published by the registrar, and has all this information in it that we'd like to be able to analyze, but it's trapped in a PDF. Can we go and do something with it? Well, I'm just going to ask it to extract all the pages of this PDF into separate files, which it can do, and it gives us a link to every single page. Now, we could have had it as a PDF. In this case, I had it turn them all into plain text. And now what I'm going to say is just summarize what's on page 4 for me. And page 4 is the page, I believe, that we saw at the beginning of this a second ago. And so now it's gone and it's read the page and it's explaining to us what's on the page. And notice it has all the data. It's looked at all the data. So I just say, hey, turn it into an Excel file for me so I can do something with it. And so it's going to take that PDF page and it's turning it into an Excel file now that I could download and do something with and analyze myself. But why would I analyze it myself when I could just ask it to do it for me? So I'm going to ask it to display 4 interesting visualizations of the data. And notice I'm not telling it what to visualize, how to visualize it, what's important. I'm just saying, go figure it out. Go generate something interesting for me to help me explore this data set. And it goes through and it says, I'm going to do a bar plot, a pie chart, a heat map, and a line plot, none of which I told it had to do. And here they are. It's visualized the data. It's gone into and taken, notice, a PDF page. It's read it. It's extracted the data. It's turned it into an Excel file. It's now visualized the data on that page. 4 different ways that it chose and I'm looking at. What else did I do with this? Let's turn it into slides. So I've uploaded a slide template for it. It's actually a slide template that I use for a lot of my presentations, and I just tell it, hey, save each of those visualizations you created as an image, and now insert each one of them as a slide in this presentation. And by the way, I want you to write some text in a text box on the slide describing what's in that visualization. And it does it. And here's what it looks like in PowerPoint. We have the overall visualization here in the center. On the side of it, we have a description of what it is, that it's written itself. And now I've got all those visualizations as slides. Now I want you to stop for a moment and realize how amazing this is, what we've just seen. And I want to take you back to when Jane Goodall first realized that chimpanzees were using tools. Her advisor, Louis Leakey, famously stated, now we must redefine tool, redefine man, or accept chimpanzees as human. And I want you to think about how profound what we just saw was. This is something that we never thought a tool could do. Our tool is doing something new. Like, this isn't really the tools that we've seen in the past. This isn't the straight, work office programs you've been working with. This is something transformative and new that really is going to redefine our experience as humans and work, and redefine how we can augment our intelligence, our productivity, our creativity if we know how to tap into these tools, which is all about what I'm going to teach you in this class. Now, what makes this so amazing is I want you to just use an image in your head throughout this course to think about what's going on. Imagine you've got a shovel in your hands and you're going to dig a hole. But right before you go to dig that hole, your shovel looks down and notice there's a rock right where you're going to dig that hole. And your shovel jumps out of your hands, builds a pickaxe itself, breaks up the rock, and then your shovel jumps back into your hands and you continue digging. And that's what you're going to have happen over and over with Code Interpreter, is it's going to build its own pickaxe to solve a problem that it sees that needs to be solved in order to accomplish the task that you're trying to do. So your shovel that you're holding is going to jump out of your hands. It's going to build a pickaxe. It's going to break up rocks in your path, and it's going to jump back into your hand over and over through this course. Now I'm going to show you where that just happened that you didn't even realize. When I told it, for example, to save each of these visualizations as images, this little gray box popped up, and when it was working, it had a little progress indicator, but it says finished working right now. So that little gray box that says finished working is the tool building happening. That's your shovel jumping out of your hands and building a pickaxe in order to break up a rock. And if we expand that little gray box, what we see is what's really happening behind the scenes, and that's, you can see, it's writing computer software. It wrote its own program to go and solve your problem. What you're looking at there is literally a tool that it built for itself to go and take all those images and save them as files so that it could later go and insert them into the PowerPoint. And it wrote a tool for itself to build the PowerPoint. It wrote a tool for itself to do every one of those tasks that I did. My shovel jumped out of my hand over and over. It built a pickaxe. It built all kinds of other interesting tools in order to help solve problems that I have. In this course, you're going to learn how to use the most sophisticated advanced tool on the planet. And you're going to learn how to use it to augment your intelligence, your creativity, your ability to get work done, your productivity. All these things are going to be augmented by this tool. They're not going to replace you. They're going to give you superpowers in your work, in your art, in your life, and whatever you need to do. You just need to know how to talk to them effectively, how to communicate well, how to structure your thinking and problem solving. And we're going to talk about all those things in this course.